year is 1939. Europe is on the brink of a war that will consume the world. But in the shadows of this global conflict, a different kind of war is already beginning, a scientific race against time. A few years earlier, in a lab in Germany, a discovery had been made that would change everything: the splitting of the uranium atom. Scientists realized this process, called nuclear fission, could unleash an unimaginable amount of energy. The implications were terrifying. What if a nation like Nazi Germany weaponized this power? This fear was so great that it prompted the world's most famous physicist, Albert Einstein, to write a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The message was clear: an extremely powerful bomb was now a conceivable reality. In response, the United States launched a top-secret, monumental undertaking. It was a project so vast, so ambitious, and so secret that few Americans even knew it existed. It was known as the Manhattan Project. This was not a single lab or a simple experiment. It was a nationwide, all-out effort, a perfect storm of military coordination, industrial might, and scientific genius. Its goal was simple, yet world-changing: build the atomic bomb before the enemy could. This video will take you inside that secret world. We will explore the project's unlikely origins, meet the brilliant minds like J. Robert Oppenheimer, who grappled with the moral weight of their creation, and journey to the remote, isolated sites where the very laws of physics were weaponized. From the first controlled chain reaction to the blinding light of the Trinity test, we will witness the birth of a power that would end a war and start a new one, ushering in the nuclear age. This is the story of the Manhattan Project. The idea for bomb had officially begun. While Oppenheimer led the intellectual charge from Los Alamos, the actual work of producing the bomb's deadly ingredients was a monumental industrial feat. The project was spread across the country in secret, sprawling complexes, each with a unique purpose. The biggest challenge was getting the right materials. Our first stop is Oak Ridge, Tennessee. To build a uranium bomb, scientists needed a specific type of uranium, the rare isotope uranium-235. This isotope makes up less than 1% of natural uranium, and separating it from its more stable twin, uranium-238, was an almost impossible task. The answer was a massive, top-secret complex the size of a small city. At Oak Ridge, thousands of workers, most of whom had no idea what they were building, operated enormous facilities that used different methods, like gaseous diffusion, to enrich uranium. Meanwhile, 1,000 miles away, another challenge was being met. For the second type of bomb, the implosion bomb, a completely different element was needed: plutonium-239. This element doesn't exist in nature in significant quantities, so it had to be created. This is where Hanford, Washington comes in. Massive nuclear reactors were built to irradiate uranium, a process that transformed it into plutonium. Hanford became an industrial wasteland of reactors and chemical separation plants, all to produce just enough of this new, deadly element. With the materials finally produced, the scientists were ready for the ultimate test. They had never detonated a nuclear device before and had no idea what to expect. On July 16, 1945, in the Jornada del Muerto desert in New Mexico, the world's first atomic bomb was placed on top of a 100-foot tower. This was the Trinity test. In that single moment, the desert was turned into a sun. The device detonated with the force of 20 kilotons of TNT. A blinding flash of light, followed by a deafening roar, announced to the world, and to the scientists who had created it, that the atomic age had truly begun. The project was a success. They had proven the theory, overcome the impossible engineering challenges, and created a weapon of unimaginable power. The only question that remained was what to do with it. The success of the Trinity test meant the United States now held the most powerful weapon ever created. Within weeks, that weapon was deployed. On August 6, 1945, the bomber Enola Gay dropped the uranium bomb, codenamed Little Boy, on the city of Hiroshima, Japan. 3 days later, on August 9th, a plutonium bomb, Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki. The destruction was immediate and catastrophic. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed, and both cities were almost completely leveled. On August 15th, Japan surrendered, officially ending World War II. While the bombs ended one war, they immediately ignited another. The Soviet Union, once an ally, now saw the United States' immense power as a threat. The Manhattan Project's success directly led to the Cold War and the start of a decades-long nuclear arms race between the two superpowers. The world was now split between two nations with the power to destroy each other and potentially the entire planet. The legacy of the Manhattan Project extends far beyond the battlefield. The scientific and technological advancements it created laid the groundwork for the modern world. The reactors at Hanford, for example, were the precursors to today's nuclear power plants. The research into isotopes and radiation led to major breakthroughs in medicine, particularly in cancer treatment. But perhaps the most profound legacy is the moral and ethical debate that continues to this day. Was the use of the atomic bombs justified? Would a costly land invasion of Japan have been a worse alternative? These questions have no easy answers. The scientists of the Manhattan Project, including Oppenheimer, were forced to confront the immense power they had unleashed. As Oppenheimer himself famously said, quoting a Hindu scripture after the Trinity test, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." The Manhattan Project remains a stark reminder of the dual nature of scientific discovery, its capacity for both progress and annihilation.